Hello, good afternoon. This is Dr. Sturtzel coming to you live from the principal's office. I hope everyone is doing well this afternoon. And we have some updated guidance to provide all of our Catholic elementary schools. And so St. Patrick wanted to get this out to you as soon as possible. This updated guidance for operations for in-person learning for K-12 schools in Kentucky is being released to you this afternoon and will be effective beginning tomorrow. So I appreciate your time in reviewing all of this material. A couple of the attachments here in this constant contact email will be really important to look through. There are some families who are in situations right now, and we're reaching out to you this afternoon as well, because with the updated protocols, your timelines are changing, and we think it's for the good in terms of coming back to in-person learning sooner. So let's start first with reviewing a graphic from the Kentucky Department of Public Health that will now be implemented by the Archdiocese of Louisville Catholic Schools. So some significant changes as a school that will be requiring universal masking. All schools in the Archdiocese of Louisville will continue to do that while the transmission of COVID-19 is as high as it is in Jefferson County and in our school system. We will be wearing masks throughout the day, universal masking. And so some significant changes as a result of that. Effective tomorrow, first and foremost, students who test positive for COVID-19 or faculty staff members will be in isolation for a minimum of 5 days. Day 0, as we call it, is either the day that you begin feeling ill and showing symptoms or the day that you test positive. That is day 0. And then the next day is day 1. And so on and so forth. So 5 days, that is shorter than the 10 days that we are used to. That should help students get back to school faster, as well as staff being able to be back in the classroom. Now that is all so long as that by day 6, the person symptoms are fully resolved, or if they were asymptomatic, then they can return on day 6. If you're still showing symptoms on day 6 or day 7, you would remain at home, but once those symptoms have, as terminology in the guidance is fully resolved, you can return. That might be on day 7, day 8, day 9. After 10 days, even with some lingering symptoms, someone who tested positive for COVID-19 can come back to school on day 11. So maybe just lingering cough or some congestion, you can come back once 10 days have passed. As a result of wearing masks throughout the day at our school, we will no longer need to contact trace for at-school exposures. So that's case study number 1. Let me give an example of that. Let's say there is a 3rd grade child who was at school, started not to feel well, went home the following day, got a test, and tested positive for COVID-19. Moving forward, Catholic elementary schools, including St. Patrick, will send a general letter to the students' families in that particular classroom that there has been a positive case of COVID-19 in that room. Now at St. Pat's, we're also going to make some courtesy calls. So the students who eat lunch with the student who tested positive, we're going to call and let you know as a courtesy, so you can monitor your child and certainly quarantine them if you would like, but they do not have to quarantine. They can stay at school. Furthermore, they do not need to test to stay if with that at-school exposure, because everybody is wearing a mask throughout the school day. Now, they are recommending that on day 5, 6, or 7 from that exposure, and we'll let you know when that exposure was, they are recommending, whether the child is vaccinated or not, to get tested just as a precaution. It is not required, though. If you would like, St. Patrick can provide that service and test the student in that situation. So again, that will be a general letter that families will receive moving forward if there was a case of COVID-19 in your child's classroom. So no quarantines are needed for at-school exposures, and we will not test to stay so that those children can stay in school. That is going away as we move and as these things evolve. Another new piece is that individuals who are not vaccinated and who are exposed to the virus outside of school have a few different options. So if you look at the guidance, the document that's provided in this communication, You have a few different options. You can not get tested and stay home for 10 days. You can stay home for 5 days, quarantined, and then come back to school with a negative test on day 5 or day 6 or 7, if that's what you choose to do, and then return. Or you can, because St. Patrick does test to stay here at our school, you can elect to test to stay, and the child would need to come to school in the morning and have a test, and then go to class when that is negative, and do that for 5 days. That's for an at-home exposure and out of school exposure. So case study number 2, I'll give you an example of that. Let's say that third grade child, that same third grade child, let's say that they were exposed to a parent who tested positive for COVID-19. Now we're going to assume, and if it's different, you need to speak to the front office and let us know. We're going to assume that once the exposure at home happened, or maybe it's a cousin or something, but that day 0 starts when that exposure happened, and then the student will be separated or isolated from that live positive person. So if it's dad's going to move down into the basement, is going to keep his distance from the rest of the family, for that first week. And the child's exposure would, that countdown would start the last time they were around their father. So again, the 3 choices there: 10 days, no test; 5 days and then test; or you can elect to test to stay with St. Patrick, and the child can continue to come to school, assuming that they're going to be distant from their family member who is positive. So some significant changes there with our protocols. So please review that and let us know what questions you have. Again, those families who are in current situations, whether their child tested positive recently for COVID-19, we're going to let you know what those new windows are and see what your options, what you would like them to be. Maybe for some, that might be returning to school as early as tomorrow. And so we are excited about that. So it's been an extremely challenging week and a half coming back off the holiday break with a number of cases that we have had. We have been contact tracing 24/7. So we feel like that really wasn't a sustainable model. This hopefully will provide us some relief. We are optimistic about that. We do need everybody to do their part. We need to enforce masking while the transmission rates are this high and the positivity rate is as high as it is. So we just appreciate everybody reporting, everybody following these rules, keeping us safe. I think school is one of the safer places right now to be. We will continue to have good ventilation, clean, have 2 cafeterias, keep desks separated and apart, ask kids to be physically distant as best as we can. We are cleaning classrooms every day, sanitizing all of the chairs, all of the desks, doorknobs, handrails, all of those things. We will continue to do all of that. And as a result, we are going to, I think, see some relief in the contact tracing. And we just rely on you for good communication at home, as you have been doing. We really, really appreciate it. So these are in effect starting now. Read through this documentation. Let us know what questions you have. And we just appreciate our entire community and all the hard work that everybody's doing to provide in-person learning for our St. Patrick students. So I think one day someone may look at some of these YouTube videos and compare over the years. I think I'm turning old and gray pretty quickly. So have some fun watching as the bags over my eyes and my hair keeps getting grayer and grayer as we're going through the pandemic. But it's all worth it. Humbled to be the principal of St. Patrick. Our faculty and staff continues to work so hard. They're amazing. And our parents are doing a wonderful job, and our kids are working hard each and every day. So thank you all very much. And we look forward to continuing to work through these changes and answering questions as they come up. Thank you so much.